Shake it back! Woo! Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of the Shake and Bake, and here we are following up with another technical type of video. Today we are going to be installing, we have a Tomei N2 oil block adapters kit, which is basically a replacement for your stock oil block that has the factory oil filter and the factory oil pressure pressure switch for your cluster. Your stock cluster has an oil light that will be turned off when that stock switch has got oil behind it. So what Tomei created is a CNC piece of aluminum here that will just bolt in place of the factory oil block, and Tomei's addressed a couple of weaknesses in the factory oil block design. If you go on Tomei USA's website, you'll read about it. Basically, during the N2 Sylvia Racing series, they found that the stock oil block had a weakness around the oil port switch for the stock sending unit, that they designed this piece in order for the aftermarket community to have something stronger, that more reliable, that won't break and have issues down the road. Since we push our motors a lot, we're going to be installing this piece. The benefit of this little particular guy is that we get two -10 AN fittings, which allow us to easily install a oil filter relocation kit as well as an oil cooler, which we will be doing both the oil filter relocation and an oil cooler. So it gives you a very, very simple form to be able to just bolt it on and then have your oil lines coming right off these -10 ANs. So we're gonna prep this up a little bit here, so stay tuned guys. I'm gonna come back with a little bit of a tool list of what you're gonna need. But basically, the stock oil block is a pretty simple thing to remove. You've got 4 Allen head bolts. The stock ones are also Allen head. Tomei supplies you with new grade 10.9 Allen head bolts, as well as some new washers, and the actual these are the oil seals. So I'll show you all the pieces as we go through, but removing the stock unit is simple. Remove those 4 Allen head bolts and gently pry the thing off. Then carefully remove the 2 oil seals. They will be pressed into this hole, which is the feed and the return, or the return of the feed, either way. But remove those carefully. Do not mar the surface where you're going to be installing the new oil seals, okay? And I'm going to prep this up, unbag everything, clean this little area up, and we'll come back with a follow-up. Back guys, alright, so we've got everything already set up on this. So here is a breakdown of what you get. You get your 4 Allen bolts here, and they supply you with these washers. They're kind of concave, so pay attention to the fact that they're shaped like that, because you want the concavity to be dished towards the actual element so it fits nicely inside that hole. So it's kind of done like that on purpose. So then you get your 2 -10 AN fittings here with a washer, so that goes together, and then your 2 oil seals here. We also need to oil both sides of the rubber seal per what they specify here. So this is a full part breaks down. It's alright, don't worry about it. But here they have the torque settings that you have to pay very close attention to, so definitely follow their torque settings. It's going to be for the 4 Allen head bolts and the 2 -10 AN fittings. So we'll come back to this at the end for the final torques. What you're going to need is a metric 6 Allen. I definitely recommend getting the socket type, where you can put this on an actual extension. So this is what we're going to go: 3/8 inch drive, ratchet, a long, almost 9-inch extension, or I think that's 9-inch extension, yeah, and a metric 6 Allen head. There we go. So first and foremost, let's put it all together, but let's go ahead and lube everything up and get everything nice and set up here. Alright, so there they are. Oil seals are installed on the N2 block. And actually they're the same size. So it doesn't matter where you go.
It's the same
on
size.
This side, there's a slight different diameter, but these will match up either way. So, line her up.
Alright, man. It's lined up.
Yes, it is. So we need to hand tighten all of these 4 down. Get them nice and snug. Don't over tighten them because we're gonna go back and torque them to their specific settings. Then we'll put the -2 AN lines and torque those down at the very end. But these need to get all snugged down to the point where you don't feel them moving anymore. And definitely go crisscrossing patterns. Now we're gonna go ahead and install the AN fittings. And these are pretty simple. There's no oiling or anything required for these.
Why is that?
The good thing about the -10 ANs is that they seal automatically because they're AN, and then there's a washer on this side here that's gonna seal us up clearly. We're gonna want to get this thing lined up as best as possible. Okay.
Oh, it looks amazing, Alex.
Next step, we'll basically want to pull the torque wrench out because we're going to torque the 4 smaller bolts to 18 Newton meters, and the -10 AN lines are going to get torqued to 25 Newton meters. But I'm going to find what size of a socket I'm going to need for those big -10 ANs. I think when torquing something, you want to use the shortest extension possible, if anything, no extension, so that way you're getting the best measurement and the torque setting. So that's why I got rid of this super long extension, because of all the twist and flex and all the other forces being applied on it. So most accurate setting will be as closest to the actual neck of the torque wrench as possible. The head, I mean, sorry. So that's why I opted out for a really short. I still need to use some kind of thing here, but this is only going to be 10 foot-pounds. So we're just going to go very gently. Right there is 10 foot-pounds. Move on to the next one. This is the one that was being annoying earlier. Okay, now he's finally tightened up. There he is, 10 foot-pounds. Over here. 10 foot-pounds. Alright, they are all torqued down now. Okay, good. Now the next step will be to torque these guys down, but I gotta go find a deep socket that's gonna fit over the AN fitting and fit on this. The final torque setting at 13 foot-pounds. So all the final torque settings were done at 13 foot-pounds, which is exactly 18 Newton meters. The initial torque setting was 10 foot-pounds, just to get everything lined up and settled flat. We want to get this aluminum adapter flat against the actual block. Then the final setting was 13 foot-pounds to get it all torqued in to specification based on Tomei's recommendation of 18 Newton meters. So we just did the translation online. Now we're going to go ahead and torque these bad boys down. We did find a 24 millimeter deep socket, and that fits perfectly right over the AN. So we're going to go ahead and now torque these down to 25 Newton meters, which is about yeah, it was like about 18 foot-pounds. So I'm just gonna go to 20 foot-pounds, just a little bit more, because in the past, when I've torqued these to the specifications, the 25 Newton meters that Tomei recommended, I still had a tiny little bit of oil seepage right underneath both the AN lines. So I'm gonna go up to basically 20 foot-pounds, which is like 27 Newton meters, put a little bit of an extra torque on the washer so we can seal it up better. And hopefully this time around I won't have to go back in after the motor's in the car and tighten those by hand with my little crow's foot wrenches that I had to customize to get them to fit in these tight gaps. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my torque wrench set up for 20 foot-pounds and torque these guys down. Alright, so we're gonna go to the 20 foot-pounds here. It is. And that's it. You install your Tomei N2 oil block adapter for an SR20DET engine. Thank you guys. So basically we're going to be trying to make a little bit more of these type of technical install or tutorial videos, but since we're using this SR20 right here as a platform for building stuff, we're going to be installing a lot more stuff on this motor, and we're going to try to make like little short videos of explaining how we do things, and hopefully you guys find this stuff helpful. Please drop us a comment below, like the video, share the video, and definitely if you like this kind of content, subscribe to our channel, and we'll be back with more awesome stuff. Thank you guys.
I forgot what the front looking was.
32.
This is like a 5,000?
Yeah. But you have to pull the cotter out, yeah.
Cotter?
Cotter pin. The cotter pin.
The king of these.
Well, I'm just saying, if you want help with yeah, I'll be here probably until like 6, 7.
Oh, yeah.
Is that 30? 32.
32 and a 22.